Rick Perry is urging the Boy Scouts to oppose gay pop culture in the same way Sam Houston resisted slavery. Rick Perry saying being anti-gay is the same way, is the same essentially as being anti-slavery. Here's an interview that Rick Perry did, Republican governor of Texas. And during this interview, this was on the Stand With Scouts Sunday webcast of the Family Research Council. Sounds like a titillating show. This is what he had to say.
And principles have worked for a century now, and for pop culture to come in and try to tear that up because it just happens to be the the flavor of the month, so to speak, and to tear apart one of the great organizations that have served millions of young men, helped them to become men and to become great fathers, and that is just not appropriate. And frankly, I hope the American people will stand up and say, not on my watch. As you see right over my shoulder right there, there's a picture on the wall. I'm in the library of the Texas Governor's Mansion, and the greatest governor that ever served this state was Sam Houston. And from this library that I speak, he made a powerful decision that cost him his governorship. He was against slavery, and he stood up and very passionately said, Texas does not need to leave the Union over this issue of slavery. We need to stay. We've only been, he thought, a terrible decision. And he was right, but it cost him his governorship.
Yeah, so and then he goes on to say the Boy Scouts need to also stand up the same way Sam Houston did. So a few things here. Number one, he refers to gay equality as the flavor of the month. That's going to seem absurd in a few years. In fact, it'll be like if we now thought back from people saying interracial marriage is the flavor of the month. Let's wait for this thing to blow over. This is not going to be something that is here to stay. That's how that comment will be seen. I don't know how many years from now, but
well, it'll kind of be reversed, right? I mean, opposition to it is really the flavor of the month.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. Opposition to it is what's going to pass. Now, here's the other thing. Being against slavery is not like being against allowing gay people in organizations. Sam Houston took the moral high ground by standing against bigotry. In his particular case, it was racial bigotry. Rick Perry is a bigot who is citing, in part, the Bible as the moral authority, as the catalyst for his hate, just like the slave owners that were opposed by Sam Houston. So this is kind of one of those reversal projection examples where really the reality is actually the opposite of what Rick Perry is talking about.
Yeah, well, that's normally the case with Rick Perry.
This is the equivalent. He's essentially standing up for slavery. If we want to compare Rick Perry's position to Sam Houston with slavery in its on, Rick Perry is taking the position of standing up for slavery, not against it.
Well, I give him credit. I actually agree with Rick Perry on one thing. It's probably the first thing I've ever agreed with him on, which is that Texas shouldn't have seceded from the Union. So the fact that he's saying that and not, walking the secessionist line, it makes me happy.
Yeah, there you go. It's a different way of looking at it, I guess.
Of course, this is also the guy who kept that rock on his ranch.
N-word head.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.